Hello from Sarasota, Florida. We are currently aboard the Dash 800. It's 12:34 p.m. local time, and we are going to be checking out a brand new airport that came out this week, as many of you are aware, which is Minneapolis-Saint. So I'm going to be flying the Sun Country Airlines Dash 800 over to Minneapolis, looking at 1,200 nautical miles over to Minneapolis, about 3 hours. And we are pretty much set to go here in the flight deck. Just gonna go over the briefing real quick with you so you know the game plan here. We're currently parked here on gate B11. We're gonna be pushing back and taxiing over to runway 14. We are following departure Sierra Romeo Kilo Uniform Sierra 4, so it's a quick U-turn and start making our way north, passing the Tampa Bay area. And then northwesterly heading over to Minnesota. We are currently expected to land on runway 30 left using arrival Bravo Lima Uniform Echo Mike 4 for a landing on runway 30 left. In real life, I've gone to Minnesota, to Minneapolis on Delta Airlines, never done it on Sun Country. So once we park on, or once we land on runway 30 left, we are going to be exiting to the right and making our way over to the H terminal, the Humphrey terminal, which is where Sun Country's hub is located. And obviously, the huge facility here in Minneapolis belongs to Delta Airlines. So looking forward to seeing the scenery. It is made by Flightbeam, and Amir always does a wonderful job with the scenery. It's going back to the FSX days. And Minnesota came as a surprise. Most of us were waiting for him to update, well, actually release San Francisco for Flight Sim 2020. And behind the scenes, he was also working on Minnesota. It was a very pleasant surprise. And obviously, if you've been to Denver, Auckland, Wellington, you know what I mean when I say Flightbeam has incredible quality with their airports. And this version of Sarasota, which we'll see during taxi, is made by Vertical Sim. I think, personal opinion, they're another very good developer for many airports in the US. Some of them are just ignored by other scenery developers, but airports like Sarasota are... Let me do an external view for you. So airports like Sarasota have a lot of service by the low-cost airlines. So you see Allegiant, Sun Country, and then you see Southwest and some of the mainline carriers. I always consider Southwest to be somewhere between mainline and low-cost. Southwest did start as a low-cost airline 50 years ago, but they're somewhere in between now, like I said. So, and again, I was talking about the quality of Vertical Sim. Here's a little pan around Sarasota. They do a fantastic job. They're about to release St. Petersburg. St. Petersburg is pretty much an Allegiant hub, but Sun Country also has a Minneapolis flight to St. Petersburg. And I own most of their sceneries that cover any 737 NG operations, since I'm currently really only flying the PMDG 737. So it definitely makes my flying on the simulator a lot more realistic to see these airports with good details. Okay, so we'll get ready to push back here. Pre-flight checklist. Oxygen tested 100%. Navigation transfer and display switches are normal auto. Window heat is on. Pressurization mode selectors auto. Flight instruments. We are expecting an initial heading of 139er. And the current altimeter is 30.06. Parking brake is set and engine levers are cut off. Pre-flight checklist complete. Before start, flight deck door closed and locked. Fuel pumps. Fuel pumps are on. Passenger signs on. Windows are locked. MCP V2 heading and altitude are set. Takeoff speeds are set. CDU pre-flight completed. Rudder aileron trim free and 0. Taxi takeoff briefing completed, and the anti-collision light is on. Before start, checklist complete.
Cockpit to ground. Go ahead.
Sarasota ground, Southwest 489er requesting pushback. Southwest 489er pushback request accepted.
Roger that. Ready for push straight back.
Sarasota ground, Allegiant 1527 requesting pushback. Allegiant 1527 pushback request accepted.
Brakes released.
Sarasota ground, Sun Country 738, could you please disconnect the jetway from the aircraft?
Brakes released. Here we go.
Starting number 2.
Sarasota ground, United 6079er request taxi to the gate. United 6079er taxi to gate 6 Bravo via taxiway Bravo. Sarasota ground, Allegiant 1527 with India ready to taxi IFR. Allegiant 1527 taxi to and hold short of runway 14 via taxiway Bravo. Cross
Number
runway
1.
22 Delta Alpha. Contact tower on 120.1 when ready.
Brakes set.
Sarasota ground, Southwest 489er with India ready to taxi IFR. Southwest 489er taxi to and hold short of runway 14 via taxiway Alpha 4 Alpha.
Disconnected. Watch for
Contact
slow
tower on
release outside
120.1 when ready. Taxiing to gate 6 Bravo via taxiway Bravo United 6079er. Taxiing hold short runway 14 via taxiway Bravo, cross runway 22 Delta Alpha Allegiant 1527. Taxi to and hold short runway 14 via taxiway Alpha for Alpha Southwest 489er.
Before taxi, generators on, probe heat on, anti-ice off. Engine start switches continuous. Recall. Okay, we have a hot cabin, so it's gonna get the packs back on. So recall is checked. Auto brake is set to RTO. Engine start levers, idle detent. Flight controls have been checked and the ground equipment is clear. Before taxi checklist complete.
Sarasota ground, Sun Country 738 with India request taxi to the active departing straight out.
Sun Country 738 taxi to and hold short of runway 14 via taxiway Bravo, cross runway 22 Delta Alpha. Contact tower on 120.1 when ready.
Taxiing hold short runway 14 using taxiway Bravo cross runway 22 Delta Alpha Sun Country 738.
Delta 170 tree, Sarasota Tower. Altimeter tree 0.05, wind 086 at 10. Cleared ILS runway 14 approach. Cleared ILS runway 14 approach, Delta 170 tree. Southwest tree 211, contact ground on 121.9er. Southwest 489er, altimeter tree 0.05, wind 086 at 10. Cleared for takeoff runway 14.
Sarasota Tower, Sun Country 738 at runway 14 ready for departure, straight out departure.
Sun Country 738, hold short runway 14. Traffic is on the runway. 121.9er for Southwest tree 211. Cleared for takeoff runway 14, Southwest 489er.
Before takeoff checklist. Flaps 5. Elevator trim 6.10 units. Before takeoff checklist complete.
Sun Country 738, did you hear my last transmission?
Hold short runway 14 Sun Country 738.
Sarasota Tower, Allegiant 1527, ready for IFR departure runway 14. Allegiant 1527, hold short runway 14. Traffic is on the runway. Sun Country 738, line up and wait.
Line up and wait, Sun Country 738.
Hold short runway 14, Allegiant 1527. Southwest 489er, contact Tampa departure on 119er, decimal 65. Good day. Delta 170 tree, wind 086 at 10. Cleared to land runway 14. Cleared to land runway 14, Delta 170 tree. 119er, decimal 65 for Southwest 489er. Sun Country 738, altimeter tree 0, decimal 05, wind 086 at 10. Straight out departure approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 14.
Cleared for takeoff runway 14, Sun Country 738.
Check.
B1. Rotate. Positive rate of climb.
Gear up.
Sun Country 738, leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Sarasota Tower, Sun Country 738, frequency change.
Sarasota Tower Delta 170 tree, 14 miles, northwest inbound ILS runway 14 approach. Delta 170 tree, Sarasota Tower. Altimeter tree 0, decimal 05, wind 086 at 10. Cleared ILS runway 14 approach. Delta 170 tree, turn next taxiway. Delta 170 tree, contact ground on 121.9er. Allegiant 1527, altimeter tree 0, decimal 05, wind 086 at 10. Cleared for takeoff runway 14. Cleared ILS runway 14 approach, Delta 170 tree. Going to 121.9er, Delta 170 tree. Cleared for takeoff runway 14, Allegiant 1527.
Flaps up. Command A. After takeoff checklist. Engine bleeds on. Packs auto. Landing gear up and off. Flaps up, no lights. After takeoff checklist complete.
for Allegiant 1527.
10,000, lights out.
Delta 170 tree, wind 086 at 10. Cleared to land runway 14. Cleared to land runway 14, Delta 170 tree.
So with this good weather, we got some very good views of the Tampa Bay area after departing Sarasota. So I will check back in during descent into Minneapolis in just under 3 hours. Let's see, right now it's almost 1700 Zulu and we are expecting touchdown at 1943 Zulu. So just under 3 hours, like I said. So we'll see you during descent. Okay, we are back on descent into the Minneapolis area. When we were in Sarasota, I went over the approach briefing. We're still scheduled to follow the procedure into runway 30 left. And I already got all the weather information. We're expecting westerly wind in Minneapolis at 8 knots. Good visibility. Cool weather, or chilly weather, about 2 degrees Celsius, 38 Fahrenheit, low humidity, and current altimeter is 30.28. And you can also see a lot of the fall foliage thanks to the great program by Rex, the AccuSeason Advanced. And you can see it's a very nice afternoon here in the Minneapolis-Saint Paul metropolitan region. So we are continuing our descent, about to pass 10,000 feet, and I already turned the main landing lights on. I already went over the descent checklist prior to restarting the video, and we got our altimeter set. So our next checklist will be our landing checklist. And we'll zoom in here a little bit more on the map, on the navigation display. Currently 53 nautical miles from the airport. We're also going to get the speed below 250. We'll go to about 240 here.
To get a sense of the sentiment.
Southwest 133 for contact Minneapolis Center on 118.85. Good day. departure Delta for 958 is passing 1,900 feet, climbing 11,000 feet. Delta 4958 Minneapolis departure altimeter 30.28, continue as planned.
Minneapolis Tower Sun Country 738 is 22 miles south, 6,600 feet with Oscar to land.
Sun Country 738 Minneapolis Tower. Altimeter tree 0.28, wind 276 at 7. Fly left base runway tree 0 left. Delta 2024 contact Minneapolis departure on 126.5. Good day.
Enter left base runway tree 0 left Sun Country 738.
126.5 for Delta 2024. Delta 99er tree, altimeter tree 0.28, wind 276 at 7. Cleared for takeoff runway tree 0 left. Cleared for takeoff runway tree 0 left, Delta 99er tree. Minneapolis Tower, Sun Country 225 ready for departure runway tree 0 left IFR to Raleigh. Sun Country 225 line up and wait. Line up and wait, Sun Country 225. Delta 99er tree contact Minneapolis departure on 1 tree 4.7. Good day. One tree 4.7 for Delta 99er tree. Sun Country 225 altimeter tree 0.28, wind 276 at 7. Cleared for takeoff runway tree 0 left. Cleared for takeoff runway tree 0 left, Sun Country 225.
Flaps 1. Flaps 5.
Sun Country 225 contact Minneapolis departure on 125.75. Good day. for Sun Country 225.
I'm gonna take a few screenshots between now and the time we park, just to share some of the images on the PMDG fan Facebook pages for this 737 and the PMDG series at large. Because again, I think I'm a really big fan of what Mir, who leads the flight beam development, has done ever since FSX, then P3D, now with MFS S2020. So yeah, definitely a worthwhile developer for those of you who want to have more realistic airports rather than the stock airports provided in most of the world by this current version of Flight Simulator. I think you'll be very impressed with the level of detail when we touch down in Minneapolis. Okay, we got a localizer alive. And we also see the glide slope coming alive, so I'm gonna switch to glide slope and keep reducing some speed here. And I have the airport inside already, so I'm gonna turn off the autopilot here in a few seconds. Just wanna make sure, again, since I'm only doing this on my own without a co-pilot, I'm gonna just start the flows a little bit earlier than usual so I can really focus on hand flying the aircraft. And we're gonna bring the gear down. And the last step on the landing checklist would just be to get our flaps to 30. So manual control, I have the aircraft. And we'll be at 155 knots on final. Flaps 15, flaps 25.
Minneapolis Tower Delta 1412 ready for departure. Runway 30 left IFR to Sky Harbor. Delta 1412 altimeter 30.25 with 296 at 7.
So I'm gonna check that auto throttle, make sure it can keep up with the speed. If not, I'm gonna just switch to manual throttle.
Runway 30 left. Sun Country 738 wind 29er 6 at 7. Cleared to land runway 30 left.
Clear to land runway 30 left Sun Country 738.
Cleared for takeoff runway 30 left Delta 1412.
Okay, flaps 30. Continuing, stable. You're seeing some stuttering here, but this is post-service update 1.3. I have one of the fastest computers available right now for flight sim, so hopefully they can fix this in the next service update. This stuttering has been very random and obviously annoying. Landing.
50, 30, 20, 10.
Speed break up. Reverse green. Manual braking. knots.
Sun Country 738 exit runway when able.
Okay to clean up.
Sun Country 738 contact ground on 121.8.
Going to 121.8 Sun Country 738.
Okay, I'm just gonna take a few screenshots here before we taxi in, just to give you an appreciation for the airport. And right now I'm very, very impressed. Flightbeam always outdoes themselves. Okay, so that was a few screenshots there that I took, and I'm gonna go ahead and start taxiing in. I'm probably take a couple more screenshots. So let's get our auto brakes back to off. Let's get our landing lights off. Acknowledge auto throttle disconnect. We'll get our position light back to steady. Flaps up, spoilers up. Okay. Alright, so there's the Hubert Humphrey terminal. Today's real world flight parked in Hotel 5. So we'll see if Hotel 5 is available. If not, just park anywhere in the terminal. And there's the big Delta complex I was talking about. So those of you who are familiar with aviation history, this was a Northwest hub. And Delta probably scaled it back a bit. I wouldn't be surprised because Delta has other bigger hubs, but it's still a very significant presence. And let's do a few more screenshots here, and we'll taxi on over to the Terminal H. My next flight in this airport will be from the Delta hub, so I'll probably take the Dash 900 ER to one of the many destinations from Minneapolis-Saint Paul. Yeah, the airport looks fantastic. Again, if I were to name some of my favorite developers for airports, maybe a top 5, I have Flightbeam, FS Dream Team, Dreshwicha Design, MK Studios. It's definitely very impressive. And also Unibills is coming up with a lot of great airports. Heathrow, JFK. So I definitely recommend these developers. They are really bringing a lot more to the sim. And I would even recommend overriding some of the enhanced airports that Asobo made for flight sim because the ones that are being done by the third-party developers are much better in quality. Quality and accuracy too. Okay, so let's see what's available at the Humphrey terminal.
Ready for IFR departure, runway 30 left. Delta 1412, altimeter tree 0.28, wind 270 at 8. Cleared for takeoff, runway 30 left. Cleared for takeoff, runway 30 left, Delta 1412.
So the Humphrey terminal is hosting the hub operator here, which is Sun Country, but also Southwest. So the larger complex is for Delta and the other legacy carriers like American United. And let's make sure we don't collide here with our fellow Sun Country crew. Okay, and we'll probably taxi into one of these gates here. So I mentioned Hotel 5 was today's real world gate, but it's already occupied, so I'm just gonna taxi into... Oh, and actually, no, I'll taxi into 6 here, so we don't clip wings there, and we'll start shutting down once we're parked. Okay, and we have a marshal too, so... Okay, brake set, and let me get the APU started while I take some external screenshots here. Okay, so that's some screenshots. We'll got our brake set, so we'll shut down here.
Contact Minneapolis departure on 125.75.
Belts off.
Good day.
Should have been nicer to my marshal, right? I think I blinded him with this taxi light being on.
125.75 for Delta 1412.
And we'll get our jetway connected.
Minneapolis ground, Sun Country 738, could you please connect the jetway to the aircraft?
Sun Country 738.
Got our ground services started here. Chalk set.
Minneapolis
Ground power.
United 459er with Oscar ready to taxi IFR. United 459er taxi to and halt short of runway 30 right using taxiway Delta Charlie 5 Charlie Charlie 6 Delta Quebec Papa 2 Papa Papa 1. Contact tower on 126.7 when ready. Taxiing hold short runway 30 right via taxiway Delta Charlie 5 Charlie Charlie 6 Delta Quebec Papa 2 Papa Papa 1 United 459er.
Okay, we'll do our checklist here. For shutdown, fuel pumps off, but I have the APU running, so I'll leave the APU pump running. Probe heat off, hydraulic panel is set, flaps are up. Turn off the parking brake since we have ground chocks connected. Cut off on the engine start levers, and weather radar, make sure it was off already. I think it was off already. Yeah, weather radar off. Okay, and that was my iPad with the checklist that just crashed into my control column. Okay, so for secure, IRS off, Let's get those emergency lights off. Window heat off. And I'm gonna leave the packs running. So welcome to Minneapolis. Again, as I predicted, the airport itself did not disappoint. Once again, Flightbeam and Mir have done a fantastic job getting us a realistic major US airport. So I'm gonna be looking forward to making a lot of flights on Delta's network as well as Sun Country's network. Again, truly amazing job. So we'll see you again soon. Again, I intend to do a flight out of Minneapolis in the next couple of days using the Delta hub, and just to get an appreciation for that side of the airport. We should have some very good details, so I'm going to continue with that in a couple of flights or so. So we'll see you very soon. Thanks as always. Bye.